Welcome to the Jew York Times, baby! Woo! Jew York Times Sports. On this episode, we are going to be talking about the NIL sponsorship deal between Jake Retzlaff, BYU, and Manischewitz, baby, the new Gatorade. We'll be talking about all the Jews that are playing in sports this week. Plus, did a Jew get snubbed in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame ballot? All of those stories and more on today's episode. As always, I am joined by my Gaisha roommate, Richard Hunter Cunningham Templeton the Third.
Hello.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Oh, what a time. Richard.
Yes.
How are you? How are you feeling this week?
I'm feeling pretty good. It's a bit crispy out. I'm digging the weather, you know.
It does feel like 1930s Poland outside, I will say.
Wow, okay. Yeah. I'm not touching that with a 38-inch Easton bat.
With a 10-foot yard. You know what a yard is?
No, what's a yard?
A yard is, first of all, it's how people in Boston say yard.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
You know,
you like apples? Yeah.
Yeah. How about this? How about these apples?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
No, a yad is when you are reading the Torah.
Yeah.
So in order to not lose your place, you have like a little stick that you kind of point to.
A bookmark.
It's
is
like
that or.
It's less a bookmark and more like a just like a point along thing.
Okay.
But the funny thing is that it'll be like a long silver like tube or just like stick, and at the end of it, they put on these little creepy hands. So it's like there's like a tiny little hand that's pointing at it at the top of it, and I always got so freaked out by them as a kid.
So did you guys in yeshiva ever use those? What are those? The laser dot things? Did those ever become like outlawed, or were they like a craze briefly?
You know what? You're not wrong.
Yeah.
The Jewish community should embrace laser pointers when it comes towards yachting.
Yeah, yes.
You know?
Yes, of all things.
You can't do it on Shabbos, but we read the Torah during the week. You should be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know what? They gotta have a non-Jew come in and give practical advice.
Absolutely.
Because, Jews were in it every single day.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's hard to take the 10,000, feet above the water level view of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other fixes do you have for Judaism? What do you
Oh, God. Yikes. I did hear, maybe I'll save it for later. I did hear a Jewish joke.
Ooh. What's the joke?
The joke was something to the effect of a waiter goes to, at a very, posh restaurant in Midtown, is helping out a big table of older Jewish women, and he just seems frazzled, and he goes to them, "Is anything all right?"
I've seen my grandmother make 3 waitresses cry. That's like an actual fact.
Yeah. So
she used to come in there. It was like she was like a tornado, man.
I could imagine.
That's gotta suck. Listen. Let me just say I love Jews out there. Yeah. Obviously, this is all from a place of love.
Yeah.
The Jewish restaurant industry is garbage. Absolute garbage. All the food is not a lot. You don't get a lot portion. Super overpriced. And then there's always chaos happening in the restaurants. Like anytime you go into a restaurant, it's just like, what? And I'll be like, can I have food? And they're like, you want food? Oh, no! All right, where do you want to eat it? Can I eat it in that chair over there? No, of course not. Oh my God, how are you going to pay us? With money. No, we don't do money. We have a form of currency. We do social currency here. Favors is how we pay for our food. But and then just working just bluntly, Jews, we're not good tippers. It just is what it is. And I can say that. You can't agree to it.
Hey, I neither confirm nor deny anything on this podcast.
But it's being a waitress or a waiter in a kosher restaurant is one of the worst possible jobs you can take. It is what it is. And I say it with a lot of love and affection towards the Jewish community. But when it comes to eating out, we are terrible people.
Yeah.
We turn into every single stereotype on the planet.
And also, I don't think you necessarily need to add the qualifier each time. I totally understand. You are festooned behind you with Orthodox painting and a nude portrait of Bernie Sanders. So I think you get
as an expert, by the way. If I was in charge of the UN, this is what it would look like. I wouldn't have that big, that big background with the logo. No, it would be a bunch of Hasidic people in various degrees of sports or sci-fi out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we start the podcast today, I'm going to do a little bit of a new segment here where I'm just going to talk. If you want to see the Jews playing this week, I'm going to tell you about all the places where the Jews are playing professional sports, and we'll get the klezmer going. If you want to watch Jews in sports, here is where they are going this week. First of all, in hockey, Quinn Hughes, Mark Friedman, and the Vancouver Canucks are going to be hosting Jordan Harris and the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight, Friday night. It's a Shabbos showdown at 10 p.m. The Canucks recently sent Max Sassoon down to the AHL. Jason Zucker and the Buffalo Sabres were going to be hosting Utah. By the way, shout out to Utah. Jake Wallman, Luke Kunin, and San Jose Sharks are playing Florida on Saturday at 6. Jack and Luke Hughes on the Devils are going to be playing the Colorado Avalanche on Sunday at 7. And in the PWHL, by the way, professional women's hockey, which the goalie at New York, a Yid, a Jew, their first round pick this year, PWHL, the Sirens, another Yid, El Harte out there. Sam Cogan and Toronto Scepters are going to be hosting the Minnesota Frost on Saturday. Aaron Frankel, who's on Boston, is going to be playing against Abby Levy and El Harte on the New York Sirens Sunday at 4. In football, Michael Dunn, Cleveland Browns, Steelers on Sunday. And then in basketball, Daniel Vagia on the Portland Trailblazers is going to be playing the Utah Jazz tonight. And then Los Angeles on Sunday, Sabonis, who is a recent convert to Judaism, by the way.
Whoa.
He converted to Judaism, and immediately Draymond Green stepped on his chest in an act of anti-Semitism that the ADL has yet to speak about. Domantas Sabonis is going to be playing against the Kings. He's on the Kings, playing against the Spurs tonight, and then the Jazz on Sunday. And in the G League, Amari Bailey and the Long Island Nets are going to be playing the Delaware Bluecoats tonight at 7. Max Homa in golf is going to be at the Nedbank Golf Challenge. And then this week we got Lance Stroll the driver for F1 is gonna be at the Yas Marina. It is the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Is going to be playing. So that is where all of the Jews in sports are going to be playing this week. Make sure to check that out. If you have to place any bets on any of this, definitely the safest bets out there are Luke and Jack Hughes, by the way. Out of all of those, they are the ones that are most likely to give you some profit on that. Anyway, so that is where the Jews are playing in sports. Let's talk about the actual news of the week. First of all, big shkoyach to Eitan Shmuel Ben Mordechai Levine himself. Manischewitz signed the BYU. So if everyone is, if you're a fan of this podcast, all 2 episodes that we have done, you know that Brigham Young University has a Jewish quarterback. Now, obviously, that is crazy because there's only 3 Jews in all of Brigham Young. It is Latter-day Saints, Book of Mormon, church, not church. It's a Book of Mormon, not Book of Mormon. It's the Latter-day Saints institution.
Right.
I learned
I
learned saying Mormon is a little bit offensive. Like it's going like you can't say like all those Mormons.
Yeah. But
you have to say Jews.
The Jews. Not the Book of Latter-day Saints. Why am I having trouble with this?
That's what I'm trying to. Well, it's the Book of Mormon, but the Church of Latter-day Saints.
The Church of Latter-day Saints.
He goes to BYU, Brigham Young University, Church of Latter-day Saints institution, a Mormon institution, or whatever the actual phrase is. Jewish quarterback, Jake Retzlaff. This week he got an NIL sponsorship deal by Manischewitz. If you're unfamiliar, NIL is the name, image, likeness rights. So it used to be that college athletes couldn't take on NIL sponsorship. They couldn't take any sponsorship. The Supreme Court ruled a couple of years ago, I think we're about 3 years into this experiment, the Supreme Court ruled that you would be able to take on NIL, you would be able to take on sponsorship through NIL. So Manischewitz gave Jake Retzlaff an NIL deal. Now let me just say, this was me. And I love that this happened, and I had been working with Manischewitz and doing some video stuff with them. We had a web show called When Can We Eat, a Jewish food travel show, where using Manischewitz's shipping data, we find the least Jewish places in America and introduce the locals to gefilte fish and matzo balls and ragalach. We shot a couple of days at West Virginia. The series came out great, and I suggested to them that we try to also sponsor Jake Retzlaff. I DM'd Jake. He put me in touch with their managers, with his agents, I then spent about like 3-ish weeks kind of facilitating, dare I say, brokering this deal between Manischewitz and Jake Retzlaff, which was awesome. It was insane. I don't work as an agent. I think that's like one of the funnier parts to this is that like I was kind of brokering is like a hard term because I wasn't involved in the contract or any of that stuff, but it definitely was like the driving force pushing it through. Felt like Ari Gold the entire time. I said a lot of slurs.
Good.
A lot of slurs.
Good.
You know, you have to if you're Ari Gold.
Yeah.
Trump won. You can say no. I'm joking. Obviously, I've never slurred before. But you know, we were able to get this through. I will say that a lot of this happened before Thanksgiving, which was absolutely crazy. The week leading to Thanksgiving, but officially a couple days ago we launched, and yesterday the story went absolutely viral. The highlight of this was Adam Schefter, who I don't know if there's a bigger person in football that could have tweeted about this. Like the NFL themselves are probably the only person that's bigger to football. The story went viral. It was absolutely incredible tale. I went out to Provo, Utah. I had never been to a college football game before because Yeshiva University doesn't have a team. There's not, I didn't go to Rutgers. I didn't go to Michigan. I didn't go to Ohio, where Jewish college football fans tend to be. So I'm proud to announce also with this that I am officially a Brigham Young University fan.
Hey.
Which is amazing.
What's their mascot again?
The Cougar.
The Cougar. Oh,
yeah, let's just say go Cougs.
Yeah, go Cougs.
I'm go Cougs through and through. At that stadium, beautiful stadium, I had never seen a drone show.
Really?
The Latter-day Saints Church, they love drones.
They love them drones.
They love drones. Have you ever seen a drone show? I thought we were getting bombed for a second.
Oh.
You see all of a sudden, like a column of lights, just like probably like 50, probably like 50 lights all of a sudden just shoot up the side of the stadium. And they just kind of hang there for like a second. And I was like, this is it, Russia.
This is it.
Russia has figured out a way to infiltrate, and they've decided to attack, first and foremost, Lavelle Edwards Stadium in Provo, Utah. And then the laser lights happened, which was like crazy.
Yeah.
Provo itself, beautiful, absolutely stunning. Holy crap.
Insane.
The surround, everywhere you looked around was like a postcard.
Yeah.
Like absolutely. And listen, Washington Heights is obviously nicer.
Obviously. Of course.
It's no 181st and St. Nick, but at the same time, it's just an absolutely beautiful environment. Because of the dietary restrictions and because of just like limitations that the Latter-day Saints Church have, mocktails, big thing out there.
Ooh.
I had a swig, so they don't drink coffee, but they do drink soda. So they literally use it as like coffee. Like they'll drive through coffee plate, like it's a drive through soda. Do you have ever had a dirty soda?
You were telling me. I haven't. What would you tell me about?
Dirty soda is just regular soda but with creamer in it and like milk. So I had like a Mountain Dew mango puree, and then there was like coconut cream in it.
Is it kind of like an egg cream? Or something?
No, it's more. I mean, it just dump a bunch of cream into a Diet Coke, and then that's
what you got. Yeah.
I have not been able to feel my feet since I drank that thing.
Good.
Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how they stay thin and hot, like. But I will say that about the Latter-day Saints Church. Yeah. It's kind of funny to be like, the Mormons are hot. I'm sorry. Members of the Latter-day Saints Church are hot. But I tasted the swig. I loved it. A really interesting community out there. They've embraced him in a way. We shot a bunch of the When Can We Eats, which is that show I do for Manischewitz, outside of Lavelle Edwards Stadium. I met a lot of the Latter-day Saints Church members who were going to the game. Absolutely, they've embraced that guy. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. And we were talking outside of the stadium with this one guy about, we were doing some interviews, and I was like, he was like, Jews and the Mormon, we both have dietary restrictions. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. You guys can't have coffee and alcohol. Have you ever had coffee and alcohol? And he's like, oh no. And then there was silence, and I go, I've never had shellfish. And he goes, oh. And then I went, what do you think tastes better? Coffee or shellfish? and we couldn't figure it out. We had to bring in a third party to be like, but I've had both. And
to be the arbiter, yeah.
But then he got arrested because he admitted to drinking coffee in Provo.
Amazing.
And you can't do that.
Amazing.
You know what I'm saying?
What is the are the they're not Canadian. I was about to ask, do they have
They're
Mounties?
basically Canadian.
Yeah.
I can be honest, the vibe is very Canadian. That entire Provo felt like the American Dream Mall. Like, it was a lot of very family friendly. It felt like a Disney cruise. There's like make your own soap, you know, on the deck. There's an short form improv comedy.
Oh, what were their names?
Oh, it was a Comedy Sports.
Oh, it was a comedy.
It was just, they had
Okay,
like a comedy, but on the main drag downtown. So it was like the main drag had Comedy Sports out there.
Wow.
By the way, I will say this. Long form is the improv form of the devil.
Yeah.
Short form, though, blessed be short form's name, is the improv style of choice when it comes to religious communities. That's an actual fact.
You are a Delclosian heretic.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
And let me just say, if you want to give me $400 every 8 weeks, I will also change your life and I will tell SNL about you.
I mean, you might as well just start your own religion at this point.
Oh, totally. I think I have started my own religion, by the way. I have a theory that I have, you know, I left the Jewish community for a while. I came back to the Jewish community. You don't really leave the Jewish community. They're like, yeah, go. You'll be back. You'll be back. Your mom's here. You'll be back.
What's the thing you always say? You can take the boy out of Borough Park, but you can't take the Borough Park out of the boy.
Yeah. I went, you know, I came back. What was the point I was trying to make?
You started your own religion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When I started becoming big on the internet, a lot of people have kind of like globbed onto me because I think I'm a very relatable level of Judaism where I can't turn it off, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, I'm not waking up early for prayer, okay? Let's start day one. I'm not waking up for anybody. And that is my level of Judaism out there.
That's fair.
But yeah, and so shout out to Jake. You know, what's your thought on the entire? You know what's interesting is that Rich, my Gaish roommate over here, has watched me do this. You know, over the past couple of weeks, you've seen it kind of like from a perspective that no one else had. You've seen every couple of days me going like, "Hey, this is cool happening," and then see me just be like,
"Yeah, it's been just like." It's just been bit by bit, like coming out. First the idea, then the DM, and just like coming back, and you know, you saying like, "Oh shit, another crazy thing." And then I think the coup de grace was Schefter last night. I mean, no, it's just insane, and how quickly it moved. You know, from like, you know, and having had experience in like negotiations and stuff like that, those things can go so freaking long. But
so
like,
long, yeah.
The fact that you guys were able to, with all these different entities and you in the middle, was pretty cool. Now, could I pitch one thing?
Please.
Do you know the DJ? Have you seen this?
DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled on the golf course.
DJ golf course.
Yeah. Have you seen this? You've seen this one, right?
Let's take a look.
Let's see.
This is beautiful.
Gatorade.
So I mean, the memes, etc., are basically, the caption is usually, "I doubt you will guess what DJ Khaled says," but I'm like, what if you had Jake do the equivalent of that, but end it with
Manischewitz? That's not bad at all. I like that. Maybe I'll do that one with PWHL players. Just them shooting a hockey puck, turn around, just going, Manischewitz!
Just with like the banner of, "You will not guess."
That's so funny. That's actually a genius thing. I'm going to make that happen.
Dude,
you know what's kind of funny is that we signed, so if you watch the commercials that we signed, we have all the, he signed a bunch of matzah slices. I still have the matzah slices here.
Oh,
maybe we can do something there in that box. I have to figure out how to lacquer them. Because I don't want them.
They are signed ones.
They are signed. I have 2 signed Jake Retzlaff slices of matzah.
What's the shelf life of like
thousands of years through the desert?
Even if it's exposed,
that's the only way. It has to breathe in our air in order to stay healthy and fertile out there. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. The fallout from this. So we launched the video on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Crazy.
CBS, NBC, WFAN. Apparently ESPN LA talked about it. It was everywhere. And then Dov Kleiman Schefter. It really like made the rounds. It was a really, really cool thing. Big shkoyach mazel tov to all of the entities involved. Jake's team was great getting it pushed through. Jake himself was awesome to work with. Manischewitz for coming along on the journey. All incredible stuff. Moving right along, a couple other stories I want to point out. First of all, the NHL World Cup, not the NHL, the Hockey World Cup announcement was made. And let me just say, by the way, Team USA, more like Team Jew-USA.
Whoa!
Okay, it is a minion. Jack and Quinn Hughes, Adam Fox, the defenseman from the New York Rangers, and Jeremy Swayman, who is a standout goalie, I'm pretty sure for the Boston Bruins, are all going to be helming the Team USA. And I thought there was an interesting stat, by the way. Like 17.4% of NHL... Oh, wait, where's my phone? Oh, my phone's over there. Something like 17.4% of the players that had made the Team USA hockey thing were Jewish, which is kind of crazy. We statistically we're kind of dominant out there. You know, so that so look out for that. Another now I just want to move on to baseball. We have two more stories that I want to bring up. First of all, the Ian Kinsler is the first Jewish Major League Baseball player to appear on the National Baseball Hall of Fame ballot since 2019. My Goyish roommate, Rich Templeton. Do you know who the last Jew on the National Baseball Hall of Fame ballot was?
Can I ask a question? Was it a player?
Yes.
It was a player.
It was a player.
Oh God. And just to be clear, this was I assume then the last time this person was able to be like put in the Hall of Fame, or he was put in the Hall of Fame in 2019.
No. Just the last time to appear on the ballot.
On the ballot.
So this is just a ballot. There's not been another Jew on a ballot since 2019. Ian Kinsler. Come on. Make that your roommate, Rich.
Can you give me a hint?
I will give you a hint. Not a non-New York player. Very famous for another team, not New York.
Oh, God.
How many years after you retired do you go
5.
on? And so it's 5. So he probably ended in 2014.
2014. A big Jewish player.
Big Jewish player. And then I'll give you another hint if you don't get it.
Yeah, I'm
the Greek god of walks.
The Greek god of Larry Walker? The Greek god of walks. Oh, is Bonds Jewish?
No. Oh, God. God, Barry Bonds was not Jewish. None of the Bash brothers.
Greek god of walks.
And he hated that name, by the way. I will say the Greek god of walks hated the name Greek god of walks. He was like, but I hit also.
Oh, my God.
No. Kevin Euclid.
Wow.
Kevin Euclid, 2019. Now, he was like, right, before that, 2016 was the last Jew on a ballot before that. Who do you think?
I'm not even
Asmus.
Wow.
Awesome. So the Athletic held vote that Kinsler was named on he got about 3% of the vote, Kinsler, of the nearly 5,000 ballots. You need 75% of the vote in order to get into Cooperstown. So he's probably not going to make it, but it would also make the 4-time All-Star the first Jewish player to receive Hall of Fame votes since Sean Green in 2013. So there's that. Let's also, if we're talking about baseball, we're talking about the retired players. Let's talk about free agency.
Bro.
You know, obviously Juan Soto is the belle of the ball here.
Yeah.
Any news on the Juan Soto? Anything happening?
Anything happening there?
Supposedly this weekend. I've heard that it was going to be this weekend or definitely before winter meetings.
Yeah.
I heard that Juan Soto is going to be announced.
I'm seeing it seems to still be pretty even between the Mets and the Red Sox.
Yeah, it's going to be the Mets.
Here's
the thing, though. As a Met fan, and I say this, I know that when the Yankees were in the World Series, everyone was like, "Oh, the Mets fans have to vote for the Yankees fans." No, absolutely not. I'm rooting for him to go to the Red Sox if he doesn't go to the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
If he goes back to the Yankees, that is the worst case scenario. I hope he goes. If he doesn't go to the Mets, I hope he goes to the Red Sox and just embarrasses the Yankees every year for the next 25 years of this contract that we know is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so aside from Juan Soto being the biggest free agent, we got Max Fried and Alex Bregman. Although I think Alex Bregman actually just If I'm not mistaken, Alex Bregman actually just signed as we were going live here. Astros offered Bregman 156 million, but it's probably not enough. So it's looking like Alex Bregman could potentially be walking from the Astros. But Max Fried, pitcher from Atlanta, is also expected to make a buttload of money. Alex Bregman, him getting 156, he should be topping at least like 200 million, if I'm not mistaken, for his contract. Three other Jews that are in free agency.
Agency, yeah. I've been trying to look up an air horn sound effect with like a Jewish tilt to it. What would that be? What would be a Jewish air horn?
Three other Jewish free agents: Jock Peterson, Kevin Pillar, and Rowdy Tellez are all kind of up for free agency. So good luck to them. Shkayach to the lawyers and the baseball heads of operations who are Jewish. I'm sure Chaim Bloom is on the call. David Stern is trying to get this Juan Soto deal done. I will consider it a win for the Jewish people if Juan Soto goes to the Mets. Think about it. Alex Cohn. Then you have, Steve Cohn. Alex Cohn is his wife. Yeah. Why did I name his wife before him?
That's something you're going to have to work through.
There's a daughter, right?
A daughter?
They got a single daughter?
Let's check it out.
Why am I not sliding into the Bumble every day of Steve Cohn's daughter?
Wait, wouldn't the Bumble have to be sliding into you?
Why am I not Tindering? I gotta slide into Steve Cohn's daughter's DMs. Is she married? Anyways, find this out. I think she is married. If Juan Soto goes to the Mets, that's David Stern, and that is it's the Cohn family. So I consider that a win for the Jews. I consider Juan Soto a proud member of the Jewish people, and that is how I will leave it at that. Last little story that I kind of wanted to talk about here as we're wrapping up today's episode. The Golden Ball. So this is a you got something?
No. Oh no, I was just saying that apparently that Alex Garcia, so Steve Cohn's
wife.
Right, they met through a dating service and was described, according to an acquaintance, as someone who had always wanted to marry a millionaire.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Love is love.
Love is love.
Why would anyone try to yuck that young? I want to marry I have my thoughts that when I want to marry. I want to marry a hot person.
Yeah.
Someone that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
She can marry a millionaire. And boy, did she succeeded. She didn't just marry a millionaire. Yeah. She married the best financial mind.
That's right.
Of the American people. They based billions off of that
the
guy.
Lena Dunham of quantitative finance.
Every ounce of annoyance that Lena Dunham has, that's how good Steve Cohn is at hedge funds.
And credit default swaps.
Oh, God. That guy swaps a default like you wouldn't believe. But the Golden Ball rule. So this is an interesting conversation that's kind of been brought up over the past couple of days when Rob Manfred announced that he was somewhat considering this idea of the Golden Ball rule. So what is the Golden Ball rule?
Golden bat.
Golden bat rule. At any point during a game, you will be able to sub in your star to take a hit. Basically, you can just kind of pinch hit your number one player in whenever, and it's a Golden bat rule. I think that's an anti-Semitic rule. I think that this ruins baseball in such a profound way. I think that it's also so stupid we would get the Golden Bat rule before robo-umps and stuff like that. It's like answering questions that no one had. No one had an issue with that.
Yeah.
No one at any point, this isn't Banana Ball, and I love Banana Ball, but you can't kind of gamify it like this. It's going to destroy baseball. Because then what next? A guy on stilts?
Yeah.
You have the golden stilt rule where the guy in stilt comes out. It's called popcorn eyes.
Yeah, it's a slippery stilt.
Yeah, what you can
You're
do.
You're really scared of stilts, aren't you?
They're too tall. I don't like heights in general. As a proud 6'3" man, right? This is the rule I went at. Okay, it's you have to those glasses you wear that makes everything like multiple, kind of like a fly eyes where you see like there's 500 images essentially.
Okay.
Like when
Yeah,
you put on
yeah.
your glasses. I don't know what you would call that. Kind of like a kaleidoscope. But
Kaleidoscope, but
Yeah.
but glasses.
that's what it's called, the kaleidoscope rule, where you have to wear a kaleidoscope when you bat.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what it is. If we're doing this golden bat rule, then we have to do all of this stuff. Soup hands. Right before you get up, you have to dunk your hands in a bunch of chicken soup. Your hands are covered in schmaltz.
Mm-hmm.
You go up there and you have to try to swing the bat.
That's crazy.
That's a better idea than the golden bat rule. Yeah.
Pitch that.
I will. You hear that? Rob Manfred loves this podcast. He's a big time in the New York Times sports section out there. Him and Aaron Rodgers. Oh my God.
Aaron Rodgers.
Can we talk about Aaron Rodgers? This is the last thing we'll talk about, and then we'll end this. Did you see Aaron Rodgers? Who, by the way, as a Jet fan, I'm happy that we ruined his life. Now, did he ruin our lives? Yes. But I think that when you come to the Jets, bad things happen.
Yeah.
And I like to think that he was maybe able to do the job before he came to the Jets. He got the Achilles and then has been terrible since. I like to think that the Jets did that to him. And in some weird way, I hate this guy so much that I am kind of happy that at least the Jets did it to him. If like in some little way, it feels like there's a little win where if you're going to have your life ruined, if you're going to have your career and your story arc and everything ruined about you, I would rather you have it with my team so that I can say, F you, dude. This is what happens when you come to the Jets, you know? So I'm happy that we ruined this guy's life. At the same time, rooting for him is prison. Every Sunday I get up and I'm like, well, time to check into Rikers on CBS, you know? So this week he was on Pat McAfee. There's a big question about whether he was starting because we're now at the point in the Jets conversation about is he going to be around till the end of the season, not even next season, because I think that it was floated for a second. It was floated for a second, like, oh, is he going to come back next season? No, he's not coming back next season at this point. Everyone's so pissed off at him. It's now a question of if he's going to actually finish out the season. He went on Pat McAfee, which, by the way, we gotta find a low-ranking athlete and have him do it. And once a week he calls in to give us a Pat McAfee address here. He goes on Pat McAfee and he's like, I got a big announcement. And everyone's like, oh, is he retiring? Maybe this is it. Maybe we are out of this prison. Maybe the courts granted clemency and I am able to escape this. Maybe they found a cure. I'm no longer doomed to die in this. He goes on there and what does he do? He releases his effing trailer for the Netflix show that he does about him on his healing journey. The RFK is in it. RFK has a role. RFK got a day rate out of this crap. He released the trailer. It's him doing like ayahuasca and stuff like that in the woods and stuff. He just had a camera crew following for the past year. It was the most embarrassing. It was the most. It hurt so bad to see it, is what I would say. Absolutely hurt so bad to see it. Whatever Jews were involved in the making of that process, absolutely, you deserve. You can't come back to Shabbos. You're not invited to the Shabbos table anymore. You know, black people have the cookout, we have the Shabbos table. That's what it is. You're not invited to the Shabbos table anymore. I remember when I was on the Amazon. I'm not going to talk about the Amazon show here. Yikes. Yeah, that was a very big fight between me and Slappy McDougal. That's what I would call him. Because I was like, he was like, yeah, you should do. He tried to get me to do a segment called White Cookout, where he was going to say people that was going to go on his cookout, and then I would say people that would come to my white cookout. And I kept on being like, guys, I don't want to do this, and they were like, no, it's fun, you're allowed. And I'm like, I really would. I was like, can I just agree to yours?
Yeah.
And they were like, no, you gotta. And then it was one of the things I like fought for. And then later on, after Slappy McDougal, tried to, after, he did all this stuff, whatever, I remember that there was a conversation where he's like, you didn't even do White Cookout. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, Slappy. What are you doing? Anyways, that is the end of the New York Times Sports. Thanks so much for tuning in. You have anything else you want to say about the Jews?
They're good people. I got nothing else.
That was beautiful. I like that. That was beautiful. We will be back every Friday. We're doing this. Stick around. Oh!
Whoa!
You know how you ended it last week?
Oh, what?
Barstool.